dear friends, this video today is going to be a little different. I'm going to show you how I make cards. This is a get well card for a friend at work, but I make almost tons of cards for every occasion. This actually happens to be a watercolor landscape. So the way I start out is on the front of the card. I start laying down lighter colors. You try to go with the lightest first, or at least that's what I do, so that I can figure out where I'm going to put the solid objects, and it also helps me figure out where the shadows are going to be later. I started adding the darker shades of green one layer at a time over the lighter yellow that I put, and I added more and more depending on how much depth I wanted and where the shadows were going to be. So after I finished with the landscape, I went ahead and tried to start doing the sky. So I started adding this pale blue, and I went through and added like a watered down pink to try to get some definition. And after the lighter colors were down, I went through and started adding in more intense shades of like yellow and orange, just so I can get that real pretty sunset look. And then after the sky was done, I just went and grabbed my gold and I signed her name in the front. So I'm starting to lay down background colors for the inside, just something to kind of make the inside match the outside front. So I'm going to stick with a lot of the same colors that I used in the sky. So I have orange and pink and some blue, and I added a whole lot of yellow. I'm using them more intensely so that it kind of matches in with the paleness on the front, because I feel like I didn't use a lot of dark colors on the sky. So as I tried to even it out, I looked at it and I realized I'm going to have to add something more. I decided I was going to try to do flowers around the border. So I'm going to use some of the leftover green I had and start sketching out some vines. I didn't know what kind of flowers I was going to add or how I was doing it. I was winging it at this point. So as I was doing the vines, I was trying to think of the flowers that I would put in them, just something that can pretty up the inside border. And it took me a bit to figure out how I wanted to frame it. So when I was painting the flowers, I tried to keep the theme in mind in the colors from the front. So I tried to match, and I went with a pink, a red, orange, and a yellow. And I tried to do the same thing. I try to lay down background colors, which is the lightest most of the time, and then I go through and add details afterwards. That red flower I put down too dark in the beginning, and it constantly bothered me afterwards. I still don't think I like it. But what I try to do is I try to go on to other things and make more details, and if I come back to it, it'll normally look better. So in the bottom, I'm actually trying to define the actual petals and the flowers individually so that together they would look realistic. I tried to get the organic shapes of climbing flowers, which I felt pretty good about. All throughout this, I tried to make it look natural, and even in bunches, I still tried to make them look like they were trailing. And in order to get the little details, I ended up actually getting a little close to my camera, so sorry that my hair is in it. At this point, I was completely focused on painting, and I forgot that I was filming. So adding some mirror images in my attempt to balance it out, I ended up almost completely doing the flip of a bunch of flowers in the top and then some big buds in the bottom. I will tie my hair back next time, I promise. It doesn't help that the card was really tiny, and I had to have the camera super close to get any details of what I was painting. And the camera was usually where my head was, so I wasn't used to having to fight it for space. So after adding some last-minute flowers and details on those flowers, I decided I was going to start sketching out where my message was going to go. I found one that I liked from the internet, and I roughly spaced it out in pencil first, just so I can make it balanced and fit in the middle of the circle I created for it. I was going to paint it in gold with my paintbrush like I did on the front with her name, but the tinier the letters, the more rushed I get. And I've had already been working on this for about 2 hours, and I realized I was probably going to mess it up. So I went ahead and used a gold paint pen that I had laying around, and despite some difficulties with it, I still think it turned out better than if I tried to hand paint it, and it was 3 times as fast. I added some gold details to the flowers later on, and then it was finished. Thank you so much for watching, and if there's anything I can do to make this better, let me know. If you prefer my music videos over my voiceovers, I can always switch back to those. This was just something that I was trying out to see if I could do it. So let me know what you think in the comments below and subscribe for more content. So have fun, be safe, and I'll see you later.